So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Megahouse Variable Action Heroes One Piece Shanks. So let's get into it right away and start off with the box. So we do get a basic style box for the Variable Action Heroes One Piece line. We do get the window right there in the front of the box, and then on the window we do get the Variable Action Heroes sticker. On the top right says One Piece. We do get a very cool image of the figure. On the bottom says Shanks, Toei Animation, and Megahouse. And then the bottom of the box has the blah 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 stuff nobody cares about, but then we do get a very cool image of the figure. And then here is the top of the box, pretty basic, same thing we get with all the other figures in the line. And then here is the one side of the box, looking pretty cool. And then the other side of the box here with a cool image of the Shanks figure. And then the back of it does show a couple poses you can get the figure into, and really not too many of the accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure open to take a closer look at the Pirate Emperor, or the Yonko, whichever you like to call it. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and Megahouse really did a phenomenal job on this Shanks. The face sculpt pretty much looks like they took him directly out of the anime. That looks just like Shanks. We do get his three scars going across his eye right there. I like how they painted a darker paint in it, and it is sculpted on there. You can even see they didn't paint part of his eyebrow as well, so I do like that they did that. The eyes and eyebrows look great. We do get a little bit of subtle paint shading around the forehead and stuff, a little bit on his face. And then my favorite part is definitely the hair. We get some beautiful shading all throughout it, and it's sculpted very well. They did a great job with Shanks' hair. I like how it's that brighter red on top, and then it fades into like a darker red, and you can see how beautifully the paint shading blends in. And then on his neck we do get the continuation of his hair sculpted and painted, and there is shading on the one on his neck as well. So beautiful job throughout the entire hair, and great job on the face sculpt there. And also, a lot of people were complaining, saying that his head looks way too small for his body, but I was looking up images of the anime with Shanks in it, and his body and feet look so much bigger compared to his head, so I think Megahouse did get that right. I think they could have made his face a little bit wider so his head looked a little larger, but this is how it looks. His head does look small compared to the rest of his body, so that really doesn't bother me that the head is a little bit smaller, because I believe it is supposed to look like that. And then the neck, nice paint sculpt on it. We do get subtle paint shading on it, same with on his chest. It's more in the middle of his chest and then above his collarbones, but I do appreciate whenever they put paint shading on a figure. I always think it makes figures look that much better, anime characters or not. The shirt looks great. I do like the paint shading much more on this white shirt compared to Rob Lucci's white suit, because they put more of a blue paint shading on Lucci's suit, and then here with Shanks on his white shirt they gave him more of like a grayish paint shading, and it looks so much better compared to the blue. So really great job on the shading throughout his entire shirt. I do like how they sculpted and painted all the buttons, and we do get some beautiful sculpted wrinkles all throughout the shirt, a lot of them around the midsection, some up here, and then on this lower part, which is a separate piece. Some people might not like that, but it really doesn't bother me too much. Beautiful sculpt and paint on it though, so good job on the front of the torso. Now the back looks just as good. They did a very nice job with it. I love all the sculpted wrinkles. The shading looks beautiful on it, even on the lower piece here. Very nice sculpted wrinkles and paint shading there. And then we do get these pieces around the shoulder joints, and they look much better unlike previous figures that we've gotten, because they didn't add like any paint shading on it. I mean, they did on the shoulder pieces too, so I do like how Megahouse is starting to do that now, unlike with their previous figures, so that is definitely a plus there. And then we do get his full right arm. If you haven't saw the anime, he does lose his left arm, so he just pretty much has his shoulder and I guess half like his bicep maybe. But they did a very nice job sculpting the knot and adding the paint shading, the sculpted wrinkles around the knot and everything, so very good job on the armless arm, and great job on the actual arm here. Very nice sculpted wrinkles all throughout the shirt. Elbow joint looks alright. Not the biggest fan of it, but it does look pretty good. And I do like the way the sleeve looks rolled up. Very nice sculpt and paint on that. And then very nice shading on the forearm as well. So I do like that they did that also. And then for the waist here, as I said, this is a separate piece. We do get part of his sash, I believe. And they only put it on one side. That might bug some people, but it doesn't really bother me because we have the bottom part of his shirt blocking it, so you can't even see it. But this is where you would holster his sheath, which I will show you next during the accessories. But beautiful sculpt and paint all throughout it. Do get some nice paint shading on it as well, so great job on the half of the sash there. And then one issue I just noticed, the insert for the ball peg for the waist, there's a bunch of stress marks all over it on both sides. It's like, what the hell is that? That is definitely a bad thing, because eventually it's gonna freaking break. And how much is this figure? Cost me about 90 bucks with shipping. I mean, come on, Megahouse. I don't know what the hell that is all about. So that is a very bad issue right there. I don't know if everybody's figure is like that, but I do not like that at all. And then another issue, when you shift the leg joints down, they get really loose. That is so bad. Look at it. Look at it, just going back and forth. That's some James Brown legs right there. And then it makes the waist joint a little loose also. Actually, it's just this joint. But yeah, that is an issue when you shift those leg joints all the way down. So those are two issues with the figure there. Moving on to the pants, they did a beautiful job sculpting the wrinkles, adding the design on his pants, and just great paintwork on it. The only issue I noticed was, see how they all look, these goldish pieces? Well, look at this one. They really didn't get that one right there. Really not the biggest issue, but all the other ones look pretty good. Then we do get like black lines connecting all of them, but we do get some beautiful sculpted wrinkles all throughout the pants, and it looks like there's some very subtle paint shading. I mean, it's really hard to see it, but there is some subtle paint shading on there. Back of the pants look good. The knee joints look weird. There's like something over the plastic, and it's like peeling off the knee joints. I don't know what that's all about, but it doesn't really bother me. Knee joints look good when they're like this, but then when you articulate them, they're not sculpted anymore. So that is a bit disappointing. Wish they would have continued sculpting it after right here when you don't bend the knee joints. So that is a bit disappointing. Not incredibly bad, but some people might not be happy with that. Then the lower legs here, very nice sculpted wrinkles, nice paintwork on there. And then the legs look good. We do get the hairy legs. They aren't sculpted on there. They're just painted on there, which I don't really think they need to be sculpted on there. And then we do get some nice paint shading where right below the pants there and then around the ankle. So very good job with that. There's the back of the legs. And then last, moving on to the feet, we do get his pretty cool looking sandals, and I kind of have identical sandals. And they did an alright job. Some of the paint on here doesn't really look that good on the front strap, but everything else seems to be pretty good on it. Very nice sculpted paint all throughout it. You can see his toenail sculpted on there. That looks pretty cool. And then here is the back of him. A little bit of sloppy paintwork. The brown is bleeding onto the skin tone on that heel and that one as well. And then I do like these sculpted circles all around the bottom part of his sandals. Then the bottom, not much going on there, but overall I really think they did an excellent job with the detail. I don't think they could have done any better of a job with the paint and the sculpt on this figure. I mean, maybe with the paint here and there, but it's not incredibly bad, and I am pretty damn satisfied with how the detail turned out on this Shanks. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we get a bunch of pretty cool stuff included with Shanks. So just like with the pre-time skip Luffy, we do get another saying here. I don't know what it says. I don't know if I'm holding it the right way or anything, so pretty cool that we do get that. And then we do get these two pieces. So we do get this piece here, which you slide into the saying, and then the other peg side, you peg that into a Megahouse stand, which you have to buy separately. It's kind of lame that we don't get any included with these figures, especially for the price that we pay. And then we do get this piece here, which you can peel off both sides and then stick it to the saying and stick it to the wall or something like that. So pretty cool that we do get that. And then we also get his cape or cloak, whichever you would like to call it. And out of all the capes and coats that we got with all the One Piece variable action heroes, I think this one is my favorite because it sits on the figure pretty much perfectly. There is not a magnet in it, but it drapes over his shoulder and arms, so it fits on the figure really well, which I'll show you in a second. It is articulated. We do get some very nice paint and nice sculpted wrinkles all throughout it. I do like the paint shading on the purple here. I think that looks really good. They did a very nice job shading that there. It's a very good job on the inside. The collar even looks dope. Nice paint shading on it. And then the back of it's here. Looks like there's some very subtle paint shading on the black. And then we do get some nice sculpted wrinkles all throughout the back of it here. I mean, that looks dope on the bottom there. Pretty cool looking. Very good job with that, and like I said, it is articulated in 3 spots. This piece here, I believe it's on a ball joint, but you can swivel it a little bit, and then it can pivot and move up and down. And then this side here, I think you can only move the bottom piece, but I believe it's on a ball joint, so it can swivel, pivot, and move up and down. And then the back piece here is on a hinge, so you can hinge it up and down. So pretty cool that it is articulated, and the way you get it on Shanks is fairly simple. You just slide it over his shoulders, and then it just sits on there perfectly. As I said, there is no magnet, but how it's draping over his shoulders, it fits on there very well. So I do like how it sits on the figure. So we do get that, and then we also get a total of 4 interchangeable right hands. And when I first opened the figure, I was like, ah man, he doesn't really have too many interchangeable hands. And then I remembered Shanks only has 1 arm, so that means he only has 1 hand. So we do get a fist, which comes on the figure out of the packaging, and very nice sculpt and paint shading all throughout this. I do like how you can see the thumbnail sculpted on there, so pretty cool looking. The knuckles look great too. So very good job on the fists here, and all his hands are pretty simple to interchange. It is a tight fit, but they do fit on there pretty well. So we do get the fists, or the fist, and then we do get an open hand here. Very nice sculpt and paint shading all throughout it as well. I like how you can see the fingernail sculpted on there and all like his knuckles and everything. I think that looks dope. So very good job on the open hand. And then we also get this kind of like gripping type hand, but this is just meant for him to put his hand on the end of the handle of his sword like that. So very cool that they included this. Nice paint and sculpt all throughout this hand here. So very good job with this one. And then finally we get the sword wielding hand. And they did a good job with the paint shading and sculpting it. The only issue is there's no way you could take off the handle and then just slide it through the hand. I don't know if you can do it. I'm afraid I might break something, because I was trying to pull that off as hard as I can, but making sure I wasn't going to break it, and I couldn't get anything off. So you're going to have to pry open his hands or fingers a little bit to get him to grip onto his sword. So that is a bit of an issue right there. Some people might not like it, might not bother some people, but figured I'd mention it. So we do get those 4 interchangeable hands, and then we also get 4 interchangeable faces. So we do get this one on the left that does come on the figure out of the packaging, which is the smirking, smiling face here, which is one of my favorite out of all 4 of them, and they did a great job with this one with the paint and sculpt, as I showed you guys earlier. So very nice job with the detail on this face, and the way you interchange his faces is pretty simple. When you want to put one on, just push it on like so. Then when you want to take it off, I would say put your thumb on the chin and then your pointer finger on the top of the hair and wiggle it back and forth till it comes off, because it is a very tight fit. So you might struggle a little bit interchanging the faces. So we do get that one, and then we also get the basic looking face here, which is probably my favorite out of all 4 of them, and they did a great job with the detail. The paint looks great on it, and so does the sculpt. I do like the way the scar looks, the eyes, the beard, and the hair and everything. So very good job on the basic looking face there. And then we also get the yelling, screaming, angry type face, and they did a great job with this one as well. The scar looks great, the eyes, eyebrows, the beard, the hair, and everything. The mouth looks pretty good. It looks like they missed a little bit of white paint on the top of the teeth, but it's not incredibly bad. So we do get this face. And then finally, we get the laughing, happy Shanks face, and they did an excellent job with this one as well. Very nice job around the hair, around the scar, the eyes, the mouth, and the beard and everything, or the goatee. So very good job on all 4 interchangeable faces. So we do get those, and then we finally get his sword and sheath. So we'll take a look at the sheath first, which is pretty cool looking. We do get some nice paint shading on it, so I do like that they did that. And I like the gold pieces on each end. Same thing on the other side. And this peg here, you actually can remove it, so when you have his sword drawn, it doesn't look like a random peg is sticking out of it. So just in case you didn't know, you can unpeg that. And then we also get his badass sword, and I do like the way it looks. The handle looks pretty dope. I do like all the gold on it, and then we do get the green grip there, which looks pretty cool. Paint's pretty clean for the gold where it meets the green. A little bit of it's bleeding on the bottom right there, and then a little bit right here, but it's not horribly bad. And then the blade itself looks dope. I do like how they put paint shading on the bottom of it. I do like that they did that. And the silver looks great for the blade. So very nice job with the detail on his sword there. And when you want to sheath his sword, you're going to have to unpeg the blade. It is very thin, so be careful not to break anything. You know how quality control issues with Megahouse's figures can be. And then you unpeg this piece on the sheath. Well, actually, whoops, you don't unpeg that. You keep that in. And then you just line up the peg with the handle of the sword, and then there you go, you have his sword sheathed. Then when you want to put his sword on, like I said, there is a little loop right there, so you just, let me make sure I put it in the right way there. Alright, I think I did. Actually, I don't think I did. You just slide it in like that, and then you just pop in the sword handle, and then there you go, you have his sword sheathed. And it does stay in there very well. It doesn't fall out or anything, even with the handle off. It won't just fall right out, so I do like how it stays in there. Pretty damn good. But anyway, that is all the accessories included with Shanks. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? Now, for the height of Shanks, to the top of his head, it looks like he stands a little bit over 7 inches and 3/4 of an inch tall. And then here he is compared to the Variable Action Heroes pre-Time Skip Luffy, Time Skip Luffy, Time Skip Zoro, and Time Skip Sanji. And then here he is compared to the Variable Action Heroes Time Skip Robin, Time Skip Lucci, Sabo, and Time Skip Usopp. And then here he is compared to the Variable Action Heroes Draco Mihawk, Portgas the Ace, and Whitebeard. And then here he is compared to the SH Figure Arts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku and the Mezco 112 Punisher. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, we do get 2 joints at the neck, so the upper neck joint can only get Shanks' head to pretty much look straight ahead, but it does go down pretty good actually, but doesn't really look up at all. There is no pivot, which is a little disappointing, but there is swivel there. The lower neck joint, very good forward movement. Going back, it just stops there, so you cannot get Shanks really to look up at all, so that is a bit disappointing. But with both joints, he looks all the way down, so that is definitely good. Where we do get pivot is at the lower neck joint, so at least there's some sort of pivot between the 2 neck joints, and then it does swivel at the lower neck as well. So alright movement at both the neck joints, but it does suck. You can't get them to look up, and there is no pivot at the upper neck there. Then we do get a point of articulation at the torso right under the chest, and this joint moves forward and back a tiny bit, as you can see there. And then we do get decent pivot out of it, and then slight swivel. Then we do have the waist joint here, which goes back a lot, but really does not go forward too much, so you're only going to get him to crunch forward that much, which really isn't anything, but he does go back a really good amount. We do get alright pivot there, and then much better swivel at the waist. Now for the arms here, I will do it with the left arm, the right arm, but his left arm does have the same type of shoulder joint, but after that there's no more articulation, obviously. But we do get a nice shoulder joint here that can move in a good circular motion, as you can see there. And then the arms do go out to the sides a lot more than 90 degrees, so that's definitely good. They do go up and down, no bicep swivel, so you will have to use it at the shoulder joint. You could also use it at the elbow joint. So we do have a double jointed elbow that bends in all the way, so that is definitely good. Then this joint here, where the elbow joint connects into the bicep, can swivel, so that makes up for not having bicep swivel, so I really love that they did that. Then we do have a ball hinge at the wrist, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. A lot of joints are tight on this figure, which is a plus. They're not super tight, so you don't feel like you're going to break anything. Now for the legs here, as I showed you guys before, they can shift down a lot, and both of them do, of course. I don't know why I said that, but he does kick forward about 90 degrees, which is good. Goes to the back pretty much 90 degrees, and then kicks out to the side a little more than 90 degrees. And then we do get very nice swivel up there. We have double jointed knees that are really tight and pretty much bend back all the way, so that is good. Then we do have a swivel at the ankle there. They do hinge up a really good amount, and then same with hinging down. And then we get a 90-degree bend ankle pivot, so that is definitely awesome. Then we do have a very nice toe hinge, so you can get them to bend 90 degrees as well. So overall, we do get some very good articulation, but really not the best forward movement around the torso and the waist. And then I don't like how there's no neck pivot at the upper neck joint. But other than that, I think everything else, you get some very Very nice articulation with this Shanks, and you're going to be able to get him in some pretty badass Shanks poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the Variable Action Heroes One Piece Shanks. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure between a 1 through 10, I'd definitely have to give it an even 8. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I had mine imported from Japan from Ami, so you could check on there. I know Ageless Geeks does not sell this on the website, but he does sell them at his booth at Frankensons. He'll probably have Shanks in next month. But if you ever do buy something from Agelessgeeks.com, don't forget to enter in codename Daredevil and you will get yourself a 5% off discount. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell icon. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs up anyway, because action figures are awesome. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. We do get a very cool image of the figure as well, and then on the bottom it says and then the bottom of the box has the blah 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 stuff nobody cares about, but then we do the Variable Action Heroes pre-time skip Robin, pre-time skip Lucci, Sabo, and pre-time it was time skip, damn it. Sabo and time skip Sapo. What? 4 interchangeable faces. So we do get this one on the left at whoopsie daisy. So we do get those 4 interchangeable dammits. I don't think there's a magnet in it, but it stays. I guess it doesn't stay on the figure very well. Nah, I knocked it out, that's why.